Be advised, mature content ahead. This podcast is brought to you ad-free thanks to the Legion of Demons at patreon.com/NOTLP. If you like what you hear, there's much more at patreon.com/NOTLP. Join the Legion. That's patreon.com/NOTLP. And now the show.
How do you do? Just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
Give me lots of popcorn
and milk duds. Reese Pieces, my go-to candy. I can't eat them anymore, but my go-to candy for a movie, Reese Pieces.
There's no astrological alignment that allows you to have Reese's Pieces.
I could have one, but it would make my blood sugar go all caca-cuckoo.
Like caca-cuckoo all over.
Yeah, and I don't want that.
You can have one piece. You can have a Reese's piece.
I could have a Reese's Piece. I mean, every so often I will choose.
You can have pieces. You just have piece.
What if E.T. were keto, where the story would have just ended?
But he didn't know. They didn't know.
You can't spell keto without E.T.
You should. You have to now because he died.
Yeah.
Of diabetic coma.
Yep. Everybody knows that.
Anyway.
I shouldn't.
How great would it be for E.T. and Johnny Five to have a podcast together?
Ooh, E.T. Are you using GarageBand?
TM, everybody.
You should be like, nice software.
Anyway, welcome to the Living Podcast. Silly cast.
Yeah.
It's a miscellaneous nonsense episode. Mm-hmm. And
you like improv? Then you're going to love this show.
You are going to love it. You hate improv?
How dare you call what we do improv?
This is all scripted.
This is surfing the tripping the light fantastic. We're just riding the rainbow waves of the universe, man.
It's like jazz, baby.
Riffing and biffing and just scatting. Oh. Anyway.
Okay.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, everybody. Hi to the world. Hello, world. Hello, Moto. I don't know what's happening.
That's an old commercial.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
No one even remembers it.
No.
And it was like a thing. Anyway, I don't want to do that. So, hi.
Don't want to rehash that. Been down that road too many times.
I just feel like I could go into a whole thing that no one will understand.
Hello, Moto.
Hello, Moto.
I can't believe I ate the whole thing.
Yeah. Oh, so it's Sunday here. I don't know what it is where you are or when you are in your timeline, but it's Sunday right now for us.
Yes.
We were talking about this steampunk subgenre of time travel fiction.
You into steampunk?
Steampunk. The only thing that leaves an indelible mark on you from time travel is stains on your clothes. Mm-hmm. And the time bobbies.
No, that's Comedy Bang Bang.
Okay.
That was just for our group.
We'll call them the
can't call them time bandits.
No, we'll call them the chronocorrecties.
There you go.
The chronocorrecties carry these devices.
Yes, they do.
That interpret the stain on your clothes, and that can tell them exactly which timeline you belong in.
There are heavy fines for time traveling willy nilly. You have to have all right paperwork. So if one of them,
the chronocorrecties,
yes, if they find you and you don't know, they're plainclothes. Mm-hmm. And so
literally, their clothes never get stained.
No,
that's part of why they do this work.
You have to be vigilant to know that they're watching you.
Tide pins, lots of them.
Rockwell.
That's how you know them, because they have bandoliers full of Tide pins.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes a Wookiee bowcaster.
That's not very plainclothesy. It's very obvious.
Yeah.
Well, plain clothes means their clothes don't have ingredients on them.
They're just very plain clothes.
Just remember, plain means no stain.
Plain, no stains.
That's how you remember.
You're either a stainy or a plainy in this world.
That's right. That's right.
Dirty stainy. those are people whose stains aren't right.
He's coming to get me and fine me many thousands of dollars for improper time travel. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's on your timeline. When you said dollars, that's what gave it away because we call them splorns.
Exactly. I fucked up. And now I've been fined many splorns.
We know you're dirty stainy now.
Yee, you can't use that word anymore.
Yeah.
It just sounded problematic.
I can use it.
Speaking of problematic, Origins is out.
Yeah.
Nice segue.
Feel free to
I'm talking about
listen to that or
vehicle in your
don't.
corner. You have a segue.
Patrons, again, patreon.com/NOTLP if you want to support the show. Patrons have access to Origins. We just recorded an introduction to a 12-year-old episode wherein it made us feel bad.
It was,
That
12-year-olds
we
are
were bad.
always mean.
We were bad. Yeah.
Aren't they?
Yeah.
And this 12-year-old show is no exception.
That was a bad thing.
It is bad.
Shameful, I think, is more the word.
Wouldn't it be ironic, though, if right now we're convincing people to become patrons because they want to hear what we said that was so...
I don't like to think of it that way.
We're not
I'm
doing
just
it that
joking.
way.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
just
not my
making a
intention.
joke.
Yeah.
But I just...
You'll be a patron for a month and they'll
Wouldn't that be fun?
unsubscribe.
Like OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're like, I just got to see how this ends.
Yeah. No, I know.
Anyway, that's out there. That's fun.
Yeah. So, yeah. Sorry. Again.
Speaking of segues,
Yeah. Paul Blart.
if I had a segue, I'd segue in the morning.
You would?
And I'd also add a sound effect like George Jetson's car made.
A little putting sound.
Wouldn't that be fun? Oh my God.
And that's just for you too, because
Could you imagine
who else
that?
can hear that?
Yeah, the amount
Did you
of
make
tail I'm
this
going to
joke
pull
a couple
down.
weeks ago?
I think about all vehicles doing that.
I think we were talking about the Jetsons recently, but I don't remember why.
Well, we're
or
definitely
how.
talking about the brrr sound, but I don't know if it was a segue. But I feel like it actually might have been.
Well, we do live in a certain frequency, man.
Well, because we're Stainies.
Like it's a different timeline. We made that joke, and it just it's
dear.
melding.
That's how we just found you out again.
You
Yeah.
guys broke the tempo.
Well,
Your timeline, I made that joke last week.
Freddie's shirt's stained. My shorts are stained.
This is salsa from last night.
This is, I don't want to say.
Oh, what a tough job for those Stainies. Got to analyze stains. And
Yeah.
You don't know what it is.
Man,
wear
this is a
gloves.
very rich universe that your writers could just have a field day in. It's like a sandbox.
It is. You could just world build.
The important thing is, it is not. It's riding a fine line between hard sci-fi and magic. You got to respect that it's probably more magic.
It's like Shadowrun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Think of it as Shadowrun, but with stains.
And if a chrono correcti sees this stain, they're like, that salsa hasn't been invented yet.
You got to roll. You got to roll to against it
Yeah.
to make sure they can't tell.
This has Dernder fruit in it, and Dernder fruit won't be discovered until 2083.
It's a Stainy. Take him
Yeah.
down. Let's get him fined.
What if you're just a planey, but you're not good at keeping things off your clothes when you eat?
That's where the predestiny of what our universe is comes into it. It was gonna happen. That's why stains are like fingerprints
Yeah.
and snowflakes,
Oh,
whiskers on kittens.
So if I want to throw a Stainy off, do I just be dirty all the time?
Or a planey.
No, because whatever level of dirt, the universe determined that for you. Like Pigpen,
What is
the universe is
happening?
all over that kid.
So
Yeah.
is Pigpen the greatest enemy of the Stainies?
They're not really. Here's the thing, man. It's about
Just doing a job.
This is about
So if I committed a crime, I'm gonna cover my tracks. So I just dump in some mud.
look. This is about not your individual freedom, but the greater good. And you belong in a certain stain profile universe. You want to tramp around and fuck up the space-time continuum, covering yourself in what you think is extra dirt. You can do that. But know that somebody's grandma is going to go all Cronenbergery because of your actions.
Yep.
But I'm trying to meld all the timelines together. That's why,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, that sounds like a very Thanos thing to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want chaos with stains.
What if that physically squishes everyone?
That's what I want.
When the timelines come together, also the physical atomic structures of those individuals come together, and it just makes a big stain.
That's your job as a stainy to stop me.
It makes the big universe stain, and then that stain, the Watchers out there scanning that stain, and he's like, "Did you see the Milky Way today?"
Well, the Watchers, they
a
just
big
watch.
stain.
They can't get involved. They just watch.
I'm having a hard time with all of this.
Speaking
it
of
doesn't really make sense.
High concept sci-fi.
Let's not.
No, old. We saw Old yesterday.
Don't you point at me?
I pointed at Andy. Old! I pointed specifically at a few little gray hairs.
Before
right
that,
there.
he pointed at me and said,
Phew, there's a
thinner.
lot.
Nothing happened, so Andy's probably not going to get suddenly old.
Oh. It's like, that's just time, baby.
So we want to say
It's
we're
not a curse.
super proud of our
very
friend
slow.
John D. Wagner, who
Yes.
was one of the producers on this, and also a primo spot in the credits. He was
right after the cast.
Yeah, right after the cast, first name there.
John.
There was even a nice chunk of space.
Yeah.
Yeah, good real estate.
Yeah.
But in the movie, I loved it. It was like an old Twilight Zone. It was it tickled, it filled my desire for that old fashioned kind of storytelling. I really, really enjoyed it.
It filled you up.
It filled me up. And the performances were kind of old fashioned too, which I think might turn some people off, but I really love that.
Very Twilight Zone acting. Very old fashioned-y.
I loved it.
I liked it. It was fine. No, I'm not going to spoil it, but he did the Shyamalan ending where he just went too far.
We had we were talking about this movie the other day at home, my entire family, and we were all talking about. We had a very long discussion about M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
And his ups and downs and the movies that we feel like are good and aren't good, and everyone kind of fell in different places. But it's very similar to what you're saying. Is obviously the main complaint.
No, regardless of where he puts out, I'm always intrigued.
Right,
And that's
definitely.
that's a sign of a good artist, because no matter if it's good or bad, you're still want to see it because you just never know what he's going to do.
I would think, how great would it be to have Rob Zombie and M. Night Shyamalan switch projects?
We had the exact same conversation. It's like,
We did.
It's
Did
like
you
the
really?
timelines are melding again.
Yeah,
my
there's the timelines. Well, and we had a pretty passionate conversation about M. Night Shyamalan. Don't you feel like you said people like you take his entire filmography and people like 1, 3, 7. Everybody has a movie in there they really like, but it's not always the same one.
It's almost never the same one.
Yeah, so that says something. You know,
Yeah.
he's not making the same thing, even though he is known for tropes. Like, he's not making the same project over and over again. He's doing really fun, creative work. This one in particular, I thought was just Chef's Kiss, old school, like almost Ray Bradbury-esque.
Ooh.
Yeah, good stuff. In my humble opinion.
Imho?
Imho.
You're a hoe.
I'm ho.
I'm a
All
hoe.
right.
I'm a hoe too.
Aw.
Yeah, we're all big old sluts in here, covered in stains.
But not the kind the chrono
Yeah,
correcties
that's a
care
job.
about.
That's a job for the stainies.
Yeah.
What the hell are you guys
I
talking
don't
about?
know. I'm trying to participate in your dumb world, and I don't understand the rules.
What dumb world? No, I was going to gaslight you guys for a
I hate
minute.
you so much.
A good DM will make you learn the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just nobodied us.
Yeah.
I am in a DM mode right now, I think. My brain is firing on DM cylinders.
I want to slide into
right.
your DMs.
Roll D20. All right. Subtract 3. Now add 6. Okay. And
Yes,
here's
sir.
this chart. If you can consult it, this is the chart about whether or not your stains are in the right place. Welcome to the world of Chrono Correcties, the role-playing game.
Kind of correcty sounds like a delicious snack too. Sounds very crunchy.
Or a medicine.
Yeah.
It's like I think it's in the aisle with like Imodium.
And Boniva.
Metamucil.
I'm Sally Fields, and I take Chrono Correcties to keep me looking at least 65-ish forever.
Very broad term, 65-ish.
Ish. Okay.
Well, it means a different thing now than it used to.
You know, people look younger now. It's like 65 2021 version is different than 1985 2065.
65 it doesn't seem old to me at
Well,
all.
we're also older than we were So like 60, I always said then I'm elderly when I turn 60.
Now you're like, fuck that.
Now I'm 41 and I'm like, no. It's 70, 75.
2021 57 is common like a 1666 17, which was kind of like an 1840 12.
Yeah.
What? Great. Anything else going on, guys? What do we got going on?
Topicana coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want to tease it? Do you already know what it is?
You guys.
He doesn't.
I don't think he does.
I said I was going to tease mine last time, and I totally forgot
You
to.
totally teased.
But you have like an hour to think about it if you want to
Yeah.
put a
We'll
plug
see
at
what
the end
happens.
of the show.
So-
You don't have to.
Yeah.
So we did urban legends for mine.
Yeah.
Favorite urban legends, and I this is feedback anyway.
We'll be doing that later. Yes.
Yeah, so I do have some feedback from Patreon, so don't let me forget to share that with you when we get to that part of the show.
I won't. Are you? Oh, that's not what's happening right now. That you
No,
said-
I meant later. I can do that.
Okay.
Amy suggested that very, very subtly. She very passively
Oh
corrected
no,
my
I
course.
was just
Should I say
giving
it?
context. If you want to, sure.
Should I say it now? Does
I was
this?
just
Yeah,
trying to provide some context to a listener
You're throwing the
that
timeline off.
Oh man, you really
doesn't
are.
want chaos in their
Okay.
ears.
Yeah, all the Stanies are going to come storming in.
Anyways, it was about Peanut Butter Girl,
Oh, peanut butter
Peanut
girl.
and I'm finding it right now. So you guys talk about your favorite kind of peanut butter for just
Way to
a
bring it up
second.
and not be prepared, Freddie.
Hey man,
Wow.
it came up organically. Okay, Peanut Butter Girl.
Okay, thank you.
Peanut Butter Girl was, this is from Scout on our Patreon. Peanut Butter Girl was carried into the next generation. 90s kids also had one that Marilyn Manson removed some of his own ribs.
Yes.
So they could suck his own dick.
Yep.
And he was
Yeah.
on the Wonder Years, too.
Yep.
We had that.
We had that one too. But I mean, I guess we were older.
We were a little bit
Marilyn
Well, I
Manson
country, a little bit
people.
rock and roll. We
I didn't-
straddled the 80s and
Yeah,
90s.
I didn't get to middle school or high school till the 90s. So
I was an 80s kid, 90s
Yeah.
teenager.
yeah.
I also love the phrase "Peanut Butter Girl" into the next generation.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Degrassi, the next generation.
Yeah, or Star Trek.
Yeah. Peanut butter girl into the next generation, like moving into the future. What is
like
peanut
a
butter
better-
girl doing?
It's cashew butters and
I feel like the music would be like la 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 la.
Very 60s, like
No more. I think more like Degrassi. Like
okay.
do, do, do. I'm not doing it good, but it's
see,
like
I was thinking the music would be like. Wow!
that'd probably work too.
No,
Peanut Butter Girl.
it's too aggressive.
But Peanut Butter Girl's dead. This is a different kind of Peanut Butter Girl. She's crunchy.
Oh,
Would it be like that freeze-dried spaceman peanut butter?
Oh, and her villain, Goober Grape. Goober Grape. I'm here to eat up everybody's white bread.
Wasn't Goober that peanut butter and jelly combined?
Yeah,
yeah. Goobers.
It was gross for some reason.
it
to me.
wasn't great.
Because it all
was
melted
Goober
together
gross.
eventually.
It just
Yeah.
it was low quality peanut butter, low quality jelly.
Yeah.
Great Brian Regan bit about
Oh, really?
about peanut butter and jelly in one jar. Yes.
Oh.
I can't be. Well, I'm not going to do this.
Oh, I can't be opening more than one jar. I kind of remember that. That was a good one.
He's
Brian
great.
Regan, underrated.
Underrated, great. By the way, it has 2 specials on Netflix I didn't even know about. Just watched one. It was really good. Good.
It was good.
It's good. That's GRRD. For those who don't know.
Who in here has seen any of the new Fear Streets on Netflix?
Fear Street.
I have very little interest.
You know, I
I'm
was
gonna-
kind of coming
Have you
in
seen
loop.
them, Andy?
But
I'm going to shotgun them all at once.
Okay.
we watched the first two.
Because they're all related, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's one trilogy. It's one big story.
They even give you a previously on when you watch the second, which was great.
It is so shockingly great.
I
Yeah.
loved it. The second one.
If it's like very refined slasher film stuff, and also this director has this way about knowing like what the best parts of those 80s slashers were, which ones to bring into her
Yeah.
stuff and what not to do. Like all the things when you watch Friday the 13th and you're like you're like, oh, I'm gonna be relieved when that annoying dickhead buys it.
Right.
She has these characters that you will like every character, and so when they're in peril, you're on edge the whole damn time.
Oh, all right.
Like across the board, down to each kid, you're like, oh, I hope one of these kids has got to die. It's a slasher movie, but you don't want any of them to die.
All right.
So what's the timeline on this? 1990.
The first one
starts
in
in
1990 is the 90s, and then the second one takes place in the 90s, but mostly in 78.
Yeah.
And then the third one, I think, looks like the 90s in 1666.
How many timelines?
I
How
know.
many stains
The
to
great
analyze?
world building for you to associate this with Fear Street, those pulp, like kind of considered trash books. This is like really solid stuff. If they had named it something else,
No, I love it. I know.
Sometimes that happens. Actually, that's great when that happens, when like someone improves something. Like usually, of course, the line is the book is better. But like sometimes the book isn't better. That's
Right.
what happened. The Howling is a terrible book. Great movie. Very different movie. Completely different movie. And I used to have a book on writing horror, and it had different horror authors giving advice. And the guy who wrote The Howling is in it and spends like his first 2 paragraphs bitching about how John Sayles only kept his werewolf sex scene from The Howling. And it's like, yeah, because he's a good writer. But anyway, that's cool that happens sometimes.
I think Fear Street. I know exactly what kind of books those are. They're not literature.
You know what kind of
but they have a lot of value.
I had a great time with them when I was young, and I have a lot of nostalgia built into it.
I loved organizing.
But you don't marry Fear Street.
No. And a fuck, marry, kill. You marry Christopher Pike. You kill Lois Duncan. And you fuck Fear Street.
My favorite part was organizing my Fear Street books.
Yeah.
I color coordinated them, but sometimes I would do them chronologically.
Yeah. I loved it.
And sometimes by thickness.
Sure.
My favorite.
You had from like Skinny Mini to Thick AF.
This girthy book that was shorter. My favorite were the Christmas ones and the seasonal ones.
Yeah.
Because they had summer Fear Streets.
Yes.
And winter Fear Streets.
There were like great covers on those.
Oh my God, yes.
The paintings they used to do for those paperbacks.
I was not even aware of these at the time.
Yeah.
I've only tangentially become slightly aware of them.
It's interesting because it's very much like an attempt at transitioning readers from Goosebumps
right,
to like full on Stephen King, Clive Barker stuff.
Yeah.
So he's playing in a really weird zone as a writer. It's something that everybody thinks should at least read one of them just to see like when marketing and writing have a baby and it's so engineered at an audience. It is so laser focused. It's just interesting shit.
It.
Plus you could read one in an afternoon.
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh my gosh.
All right. Well, somebody's a smarty pants.
Yeah.
Took me a couple of days. Because I like to take it all in.
Yeah.
The great writing and the atmosphere built.
The smell.
Yeah.
The smell of a Fear Street. Bubblegum and mold.
I remember at Walden Books at Northgate Mall, it was always in the back section.
Oh yeah.
I bet there were a lot of protests.
I worked at that Walden Books for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Good job. Oh, okay.
So good it was only 2 weeks.
I prefer B. Dalton because the lighting was so much better at
B.
B. Dalton.
Much better.
There's almost an entire sandwich in the trash. Wasn't any good? You guys want to move to the next thing?
Yep.
Yeah.
Just a minute, ladies and gentlemen. I think something is happening.
Here's a special one of your the major cities in the world are being destroyed.
The people it kills get up and kill.
Partially devoured. Remember, human beings are their food.
All right.
Yeah.
Listeners, you ready to learn about this with me?
Did you just Google horror news?
It's proprietary and he's not going to tell you.
So first up, sounds like they're going to do an interview of the vampire TV series.
Oh.
That makes sense as a series.
Alan Taylor, doesn't ring any bells for me.
No.
Is to direct the first 2 episodes. Shit, that's the headline. That could be the news if I wanted it to be.
Done it.
But let's dive into some deets.
We're diving into deets.
So it's an 8-part adaptation, And it's going to be on AMC and AMC Plus.
Oh, I subscribe to that, so that'll be nice.
In 2022.
I'm still alive.
Alan Taylor is directing the first 2 of the 8 episodes.
Yeah, you said that.
I love real-time news.
But they're hoping...
Kelley's on the scene of Breaking Story, Interview with the Vampire, made to a series.
They're hoping... it looks like...
Kelley, what do you see there?
Well, it looks like...
Can you describe the scene for us?
I'm getting... some people are letting me know it looks like that. Yes, it does look like they're trying to make a franchise out of this. I'll get you more details as more details are made available.
You just be careful out there, Kelley. I know you're trying to get the story, but you gotta take care of yourself first.
Thanks, Andy. I'll try.
Let's get to Andy in the movie copter. Doesn't make any sounds as a movie copter. It's a movie helicopter. It's on a set. And there he is. Firmly planted, safely in the chair.
Read Interview with the Vampire 70 million years ago.
It's a great book. It's a really good book.
Yeah, it was a good book if I remember correctly. I think I read like 1 or 2 of the whole
Vampire Chronicles.
Yeah,
it was really good. The first was the best one.
Yeah.
So they're maybe going to make a bunch of shows or things out of the Vampire Chronicles, as well as her Mayfair Witches.
Oh, I read The Witching Hour. I think it's the first one of that. That's pretty good.
Mark Johnson of Breaking Bad producing gig.
Any casting news?
Is watching over this. Let's see. Well, let's find out, shall we?
Don't even understand how cute Guapo is being right now.
So here's some more info.
Lounging.
He's on his back and he's just rolling all around, and I want to just love on his little tummy.
Do it.
Puppy tummy.
This Alan Taylor person looks like directed multiple episodes of Mad Men. Including the pilot. And he also directed some episodes of Game of Thrones, Sex and the City.
Oh, okay. So this guy's
6 Feet Under, Did Wood.
Damn.
He's an HBO guy then.
Boardwalk Empire, The West Wing,
So he's
Lost,
got
That's some classy shit right
some
there.
street cred, I guess.
The Sopranos, and he got an Emmy for The Sopranos.
The Sopranos.
So there you go.
All right.
Oh, wait, there's a quote.
But wait, there's more.
We're back to Kelley on the scene. He's got a quote for us.
I'm sorry. I thought I had a quote for you, but when I looked at it, it was long and probably didn't shed any more light on the story. So it looks like we're going to let that go, Andy, but I'll get back to you as more details are made available.
I'm sorry, Kelley. We cannot hear you over the roaring crowds outside of. Is that Carl's Jr.?
Yes, it is, Freddie. It is a Carl's Jr. It looks like they're giving away cheese.
That's just great news. This city really needs a
win.
A win.
So
And an enema.
Joker. Yep. So Batman 89 is having a big old comeback right now. Yeah. That's not news.
Yeah, it's getting a lot. It's getting a second wave of respect.
And when it's popping up into, there's a Batman 89 comic series right now.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't know if it's out yet.
I would actually be into that.
But it's also apparently featuring. I guess this is news by way of my memory and things I'm having advertised to me on Facebook. They feature the Marlon Wayans Robin that was going to be introduced in the third Tim Burton movie. Or actually the second it was supposed to be introduced for Batman Returns, but they said there were too many people.
And now he's way too old.
And so now it's in the comic. But also I feel like there's Batman 89 stuff popping up into their CW series maybe.
Huh.
Dunno.
I feel like they're really into like their movies or whatever, but DC really seems to like playing around in their CW verse.
Yeah, their CW. They like to play around in there.
They love to put their fingers in their CW and
they love to play around in their WCs too.
Fill around.
That's Waters Closet.
Waters Closet.
That's Turlet for you and me. If you don't mind, I'll be over here in my WC playing with my Batman.
So I haven't seen this pop up. Are people rediscovering it, or it's just
I think it's like what happened
thing?
with Friends, kind of like there's another generation getting into it too.
And I mean, everything for me, it's all just because it's being made into a comic series.
Oh.
So I keep getting it advertised to me.
Well, we saw Batman 89 style stuff at Meyer yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like they had streets fake like merchandise.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I did feel like I've also seen just like tangentially some other stuff. It's not an anniversary.
No.
89, right?
Yeah.
You said. So this is 2021.
Wait.
Well, how many does that make it? I don't know.
33rd.
It's happy 33rd anniversary to Batman 89.
Very important.
It's the big
year.
33rd.
Yep.
So
This is the 20th anniversary of the 13th anniversary celebration. And I think we all remember what happened there.
oh shit. So The Exorcist looks like you all know David Gordon Green.
Yeah.
DGG?
Did I miss an intro to the story?
DGG? No, I just jumped into it.
Oh, is he making an Exorcist movie?
So don't jump ahead.
Okay.
Ready.
I'm just kidding. You can jump ahead.
It's not
Yes.
fair to guess that that's what's
It is,
happening
yes.
based on the information you provided so far.
But that is what's happening.
Yeah.
And it's a sequel.
Ooh.
So is he rebooting it like he did Halloween?
I don't know.
So it's a sequel to the first one, like he did a sequel to the first
Halloween.
one.
Let's find out.
For Halloween?
So David Gordon Green.
The new timeline.
Is this guy's thing?
Get those Stanies on the case.
Get the Stanies in.
He took a moment. He is directing an Exorcist project, and here's what he told Total Film: The Exorcist has been written.
Hollywood is back.
All right.
You talking about the movie or the book?
That was
The book was written a long time ago.
That was one of the pandemic projects. It's not inaccurate that it will be a sequel to the original film. I like all the Exorcist movies, and not only do I like them, I think they can all fall into the acceptable mythology for what I'm doing. It's not like I'm saying, pretend that The Exorcist 2 never happened. That's fine to exist. They're all fine to exist, and I enjoy all of them. It sounds like he's really trying to
It's a very backhanded compliment.
well, it's like he's trying to defend Exorcist 2. It sounds like everybody
they're trying to be protective of the rest of it.
and like it feels like they're all like, even Exorcist 2, the shitty one, and remember
The
he-
heretic.
and he cut out, out of Halloween basically all of the history post Halloween 2.
Yeah.
So, although it did seem like he nodded Halloween 3 as if it was a separate timeline. Do you remember that in Halloween 2018?
Was it the masks?
Yeah, I think so. But so it just sounds like he was like basically saying, "Listen, everybody, yes, I even like The Exorcist Part 2. Why don't you fuck right off?"
It has its place, like Highlander 2.
I've never seen it
Which one?
either.
Really?
I don't
we
know
should
if I've
have.
seen the second.
We should have a
Exorcist.
bizarre movie sequel night and hang out. Kelly's eyes darted around like he's trying to figure out what excuse to make not to attend.
I was also like, how do we not have this?
And let me just say, if you take Troll 2, Highlander 2, and Exorcist 2, you could have a real great triple feature.
New theme month.
Oh,
That could
We
be
did
the
Troll
theme.
2.
okay.
Yeah, we done that. We find it, but you
Probably
need
did
a-
Exorcist 2 too.
We haven't done.
We can do
We
Exorcist 2 and
haven't done Exorcist 2 probably in so long though that
We did 3, I know, didn't we?
We did do 3
put it in your back pocket, kids.
in your back pocket.
right there.
If it's
Pull it out when it's ready.
If it, like
Put it in your
next to your
pantry with your cupcakes.
So he goes on to say, it's another fun legacy to be a part of. I guess, another in terms of Halloween. And hopefully we'll get that going in the near future. All of these always sound like they're not sure. I mean, I guess they're probably not always sure, but they're like, we might make a movie someday. And it might be really
Well,
cool.
you know what a lot of that is there's this terror involved whenever there's a bigger studio entity involved where they say the wrong thing and the studio's like, that fucked up. That's the first domino in a chain of problems. You just saying that.
Yeah.
So they are so browbeaten into what they're allowed to say, especially the more successful they get and the higher they get to those people who are the big decision makers, the less they talk.
Yeah.
I will say that I think there's probably some hesitancy right now to fund things in Hollywood because of the pandemic and the problems that has caused. And, now that you have to have a COVID person on set and you have all these additional rules and expense.
Well, they keep trying to have production start up, but they keep shutting down
Right.
again. Like that Mission Impossible.
Exactly.
Like
so
1, 2, 3 got shut down 2 or 3 times, I think.
Right. So then you're a Hollywood studio. The only thing you want to bankroll right now is probably known entities. So this might have a chance of being made.
Also, I heard a rumor that there may be some movement on the last Starfighter sequel.
Oh, everybody was clamoring.
No, I was.
I know.
Breaking news.
So you're not everybody, are you?
I'm representative of a very small slice of the pie.
I love those baby units.
Well, I like how The Exorcist is going to be introduced to a whole new generation too.
I loved it. Remember the TV show from a few years ago? 2 seasons, 2 really good seasons.
That show was fantastic.
Yeah. First season was great.
Yeah, I liked the second.
Oh, the second one was better.
I never got to the second one.
Oh,
the second
John
one's
Cho.
better.
I was real lazy.
John Cho. He's so
Foster kids.
Jojo.
Check. John Cho. Check. Scary. Check.
Oh, twice as much scare as John Cho.
That was I remember at a Horror Hound they previewed the first episode.
That's right.
Before everybody else, and it was really cool because they gave posters to everybody, and then one of the producers was in line, and we were walking out like he was waiting to sign them. Like, do I want his autograph?
Might as well.
Oh,
But
well,
it was just weird. It was just awkward.
there, right?
Yeah, it was an awkward situation.
Because we at one
Love
point
that
we talked
show.
to the showrunner
Yeah.
about it because he said he was like a big Buffy fan. I remember him saying like that idea of having like an arc and a big bad and all that, and to apply that to in the Exorcist world was just like, what? Those two things, they actually go really well together.
Really well.
And I would say that the legacy of that show is Evil, that CBS, I think it's CBS series. That is very much, if you liked Friday the 13th, the series, and The Exorcist, the series.
So if you're elderly like us,
but it has those vibes kind of mashed together. It kind of has like the production quality of the newer one of those two that I just said,
The Exorcist.
The Exorcist, but the vibe of the Friday the 13th, the series. It has the fun of that.
Sans Roby.
Roby, yeah, no Roby.
There's no real Roby in this. No.
Aw.
Yeah, it's a whole different cast of contemporary actors.
Well, then I'm not interested.
Right.
That's the only thing that pulls you into projects now.
I'll tell you right now,
Roby involved?
what
No.
Freddie and I are watching on television right now is the original Battlestar Galactica series and Friday the 13th before bed.
Yeah.
The
So-
70s Battlestar Galactica.
Yes, we're not interested in your current timeline.
Well, also I was telling Amy I'm on IMDb and it's like, oh, help us refine suggestions for you, and I'm like, oh, great. And it's like, here are some popular shows. Let us know what you think of these popular shows, and this will help us find stuff that you'll like. And I didn't know any of the shows. I went through the whole list.
Well, granted, they're churning out TV shows left and right here.
There's a lot of shows.
There's a lot of stuff like.
But these were like the most popular shows.
No,
And
I hear
was
you.
like, I
Well,
don't
it's the
know
ones
what
they
any of
want
these
to be
are.
popular.
Yeah, but
I think.
you pull
Yeah.
something up and
Good
it's like,
point.
oh, it's on this 3rd season. I'm like, what?
I don't know that
How'd
these
that
are
happen?
popular as I think they're pushing the things that they need to be popular.
Well, Amazon owns
good
IMDb.
point.
How many of those shows were Amazon properties?
Wow, all of them. That's odd. I'm kidding. I don't know.
Yeah.
We look like you were.
A lot of the studios are doing just like limited series now, so they're not doing like multiple seasons anymore. I think limited series are the most popular things right now.
Yeah, and for good reason. I love the idea of someone writing an ending.
Yeah.
Call me crazy.
But see,
I like closure.
I like those shows. We're so far off a tangent. I kind of miss those like ensemble cast shows that went on for years and think people would change.
As
in
long
and
as they're
out.
episodic. If they're episodic,
there's an
I'd cool with that.
overarching and episodic.
But they have to tie up those big those.
They do.
I have to feel like it's going somewhere. Usually, there are some exceptions where if I have enough of an emotional attachment to what the show is, I'll tolerate a lot of crap.
Yeah.
But I gotta have that. I hate it when they leave loose ends on big storylines.
I think people's attention spans are so short now that they're not going to have series that last 8, 9, 10 seasons anymore.
Oh, we're going to get, you know what they should do is they should make a streaming service with little short episodes like little 10-minute episodes. You could even make it so that you only watch it like on your phone.
You know what?
Just mobile only.
You know what's funny? You want to know where I thought you were going with that, and I thought you were a damn genius.
Oh, I'm not.
You just create a service that does little 10-minute videos that tie up all the loose ends of your canceled shows. It's like all we do. Look, this is our business model. We make one 10-minute episode of whatever the people request. Like, oh, you know what? I always wondered what happened at the end of the river. Right?
Oh, yeah, that was a
How'd
great
the river tie up? And then I'm like, okay, I just needed $1 million to make a 10-minute episode specifically geared at the people who watched the river.
You remember that couple of seasons where there was like 1 million like horror shows coming out? Like there was the one with like Gary Sinise and there were aliens in the water. And it took place in, and they were maybe monsters, maybe not. And then you had Oren Peli's The River, and then there was another one called maybe Invasion was the one with the water aliens. But then there was another one on at the exact same time, and then maybe the new V came out at the same time too. It was all on NBC.
It's our every night
on ABC,
sci-fi alien.
I would be so down for this service, Freddy, because I need more Star Trek Enterprise. I need more of that.
Mm-hmm. But all it gives you, literally, the business model to keep costs under control, it has to be tied up in 10 minutes. So you bring in, because it's such a small commitment, you can get the best people in the business. Yeah. Because you're like, hey, this is a 10-minute short. It's on a beloved property that people aren't willing to come back.
All the actors
totally
come back for.
Yeah. You can get as many original people and they'd be happy to do it. Most of them.
Yeah, I'd be into it. I need that for Suburgatory. There's very few shows where like I made it to the end of that and I really was sad because and you could see they obviously knew it was coming. Like they were going to have to wrap it up, but you could also tell that they didn't know.
For sure.
Until mid-season. So they tried to wrap up very hastily, like 2 or 3 little storylines, but it was just such a hang.
You know what's really weird is I just had a revelation of how fucking bad this business model is.
So we're not going to do it?
No,
okay.
but it might be great. Here's the thing. When you see
it's bad great.
You're looking at it, you're like, okay, this is a need that can be filled, but the question is, what's your ROI on something like this? Is the audience I would be curious enough as just a general audience, even if I hadn't
seen. You have to kickstart everyone.
Yeah, you would maybe do each one as a Kickstarter.
Your Shark Tank pitch is not going well.
Do you mean how I'm pointing out the flaws in it?
I have a great idea, but wait. Maybe it's not such a great
No, it's a great idea for the audience.
Mark Cuban's be like, no, man.
But your question is, Mr. Cuban, what's in it for me?
You know, I was thinking to myself the other day because we finally finished Sequest that show is just hitting its stride in that third season. It made me sad.
Does that need a 10-minute wrap up?
Well, I was like, did anybody write novels? No, I haven't looked it up. I'm not that much of a geek.
You're going to be brought to fanfic.
Well, I'm in the midst of the whole Star Trek relaunch timeline.
Fanfic. Is that an expression?
It is now. You've been dragged down to fanfic.
You drove me to fanfic.
I need an official what happens next.
No, I know.
Well, we could start a comic book series called What Happened.
Yeah.
And
maybe that's a better business model.
That is a better one. Dave, Kelley, other artists I know, we're going to tie up outstanding intellectual properties that were canceled too soon.
Yeah.
In comic book form.
Mm-hmm.
I love what they did with Deep Space Nine, that documentary where they got all the writers back together and they came up with another season.
What We Left Behind, I think was the name of it. Yeah. It was really good.
I hope they do that for Voyager.
That's a great idea, or even a TV series. You just get the writer's room of that original property together and film that. And they did this. They showed the storyboards. Mm-hmm. So it was like you got to see if they got to produce the last episode.
That'd be pretty cool. Yeah. They actually did that. For Shaun of the Dead, when I got the deluxe DVD or whatever years and years ago, it came with a little comic book that showed what happened to certain characters. Certain characters were meant to survive, and you didn't know what happened to them. And then you find out what happened. You're like, oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. It's
you get so attached to these characters. You want to know they're okay or not okay.
And there's also, there's that fine line between.
You want to find the body.
If you did wrap up, if you gave, if you told a story that had a nice pinched off end on either side.
Okay.
Nicely pinched off.
Yeah, like a sausage with the casing.
Yeah, you don't want anything oozing out.
Nothing's hanging behind. The story left not a dingleberry.
Yeah. You wipe and it's just clean.
Right. Yeah. You don't need our service necessarily for that. You just need it for those ones where they pull the rug out from under you. Like when you think of this, if you send me ideas, which I will get to when I retire.
Okay.
We will get this project rolling. I will start getting investors. I have already seen Elsa left 3 milk bones over here.
What's the project again? Is it the comic book or the TV show now?
Comic book.
Okay.
Yeah.
It would have to be. Yeah.
That's all. Comics is a good proof of concept for a TV producer.
Yeah, it's like a storyboard, basically.
So, Kelley, we got any more news?
Yeah.
By the time he gets the news, he's going to be announcing the successful Kickstarter campaign that started my What Happened?
What happened? Neil Gaiman. Him and Amazon get along famously.
Yeah.
He had Bad Omens, which I started.
Good Omens.
Would like to get back to. You don't even know what it is now, do you?
I thought it was called Good Omens.
Oh, you said good. I thought you said it like, what is that?
Oh, no.
And I was like, well, the reason I was
know
like,
it's his book thing.
well, no, I just because I actually feel like I don't know if it did that well.
I didn't watch it. I didn't.
Is that the TV show with like Michael Sheen and somebody else?
Yes.
They're like Angel
Did you
and
watch
Devil.
it, Freddy?
I haven't watched that. I watched American Gods.
I started watching it, but it got buried underneath all the other shows I'm watching.
That's what happened to me. I watched one episode and I liked it pretty well. I saw where it was going. David Tennant, Michael Sheen, it's good. But I haven't finished it. But it was super cute. It's very.
I think it got canceled.
Oh.
So we might have to do
we'll do a comic book on it.
book for it.
We'll do a comic. You know what? I feel like that's really what Buffy season 8 is. Dark Horse.
That's what they did.
What is?
There was a comic, but then the comic book got bad.
But these are one shots.
One-offs.
You have to have just a single issue that ties everything up.
We're gonna need a comic book about the comic book.
And that's why it's just called What Happened. You see What Happened in the big font up top. And then underneath it says to Charles in charge.
He became a MAGA supporter.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Well, that's Scott Baio.
Yeah. fuck that
Yeah.
guy.
But also Charles did in the storyline. You grow to hate him.
But he
Yeah,
did
they're the same
graduate
person.
college finally
He did.
and got a different job.
And Buddy Lembeck hit himself in the head with a coconut so hard that he died.
One of these dogs farted.
So
How do you know it was only one of them?
I don't.
Let's get the Stanies in here to find out who did.
No, the chronocorrecties.
to glom onto what Andy said about limited series, Amazon has ordered a 6-episode limited series based on Anansi Boys, which is part of the American Gods.
Yeah, it's like part of that shared universe.
So you probably know what that's about if you listen to our show, and if not, here's a synopsis. Charlie Nancy, that's one person, a young man who is used to being embarrassed by his estranged father. He is a young man that is used to that.
Is he young or not?
But when his daddy dies, Charlie discovers that his father was Anansi, the trickster god of stories that you've heard. And
You're saying Nancy was a Nazi?
Anansi was a trickster.
Oh, Anansi. Okay.
Anansi, not a Nazi.
Oh, my Lord.
But
You're watching Anansi, not a Nazi.
was a trickster. And he learns that he has a brother, and now this brother, Spider, is entering Charlie's life, determined to make it more interesting.
Spider just came back into my life.
But also making it a lot more
Oh,
dangerous.
Spider! He said, "Go fuck yourself" to Joe Pesci.
He's like, hey, Mrs. Romano, it's me, Spider.
Spider.
Poor Spider. He got shot.
Have you seen Monsters at Work yet? It's the Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
TV series.
Is it fun?
It is fun, and that would be a perfect character. Like they could have a plumber named Spider who's Schneider.
I saw that.
I could see that
advertised. I was actually hoping it was a third movie that they made just for Disney Plus. But
it's as good as the movies, though.
yeah.
So like it's that quality.
We just recently watched Monsters University.
I love those movies.
They're great. They are some of my favorites. Anyway, so Gaiman, Neil, will serve he's going to show run him and this guy named Douglas McKinnon, who directed all 6 episodes of Good Omens. So this is like, I guess, probably part of a development deal that Neely has with Amazon. So if you're into Neil Gaiman, and I am, if you like the shows that he makes, potentially I am, even though I haven't watched any of them, including American Gods or Good Omens, but I want to, or Neverwhere.
And then he has another one that's like an anthology show.
Yeah. Yeah, there's Fragile Things, which actually is on Shudder. And I really meant to watch that because there is an episode.
Of all the things that I've said that I've meant to watch, this is the one I've meant the most to.
It is, though, because one of the stories I love best from that book is an episode, and I really want to watch it, but I just haven't.
I want to tell you, not to add to your things that you meant to watch list, but there's this new series. It's only 6 episodes. It's on AMC. It's called something City Smiths.
Ultra City Smiths.
Ultra City Smiths, and it's freaking great. It's a work of art. The storylines are. They film everything. It's babies, stop motion animation, stop motion animation with baby dolls.
Yes,
but it's like Sin City-esque kind of, but it's also got like a real story. It's not just jokey.
It's not Robot Chicken with baby dolls.
Right. It's like if Robot Chicken, and Seth Green is one of the producers on it.
Yeah.
It's like if they had like a coherent through line on Robot Chicken.
That sounds fun.
But all original characters, and like one of them's he's the gigolo, kind of like it's like Midnight Cowboy, you know, that costume John Voight wore in that movie.
Yeah.
And he just kind of stands in the corner and goes, "Hey fella." Back scratch. And he's like, "Do I scratch your back or do you scratch mine?" And like that's the kind of, like it has that, but then it also has this murder mystery.
Yeah.
And Tom Waits narrates it.
Oh, that sounds great.
And it has like awesome voice talent. Who was it that we heard on there? God,
it was a really good
Mantzoukas.
Yeah.
Zooks. Jimmy Simpson.
Yeah.
There's McPoyle.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Kurtwood Smith. John C. Reilly.
Dumbass.
Alia Shawkat.
John C. Reilly's character is so
Kristen
great.
Bell.
Yeah, Kristen Bell and Dax Shepard. He plays Pecker, who's based on Anthony Weiner.
Oh.
And there's the whole, real blatantly spoofing that. But the show has this style that is like nothing else.
What's fun? I actually always thought, I really liked the Robot Chicken, especially as they developed it a little better.
Yeah, I love Robot Chicken.
And made it. I actually really like how they use, the sort of the toy animation. And so do you hope that maybe Seth Green is like really trying to push this into making like I guess he has made a more serious thing.
Yeah,
using that.
Even beyond that, like from an artistic level, this is like a grown up Robot Chicken.
Right.
Like what you see it's like some serious filmmaking.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like that he just that this medium really speaks to him.
Yeah.
He's
definitely
a different direction. Yeah.
He's an artiste.
I love it.
For sure.
I love that style.
Me too. This has brought it up to kind of the level of like Box Trolls.
Oh yeah, Box Trolls. Very
I was
good.
just thinking to myself, was there something else? MODOK is the other thing Seth Green is producing
awesome too.
and also uses.
MODOK's a lot like BoJack.
Yeah.
Stop saying shows.
Sorry.
There's just too much out there.
When you get through with BoJack, watch MODOK, then MODOK, then BoJack, MODOK, BoJack. And then when you're done with that, you can do the Queen's Gambit.
I mean, granted, I know like the investment in these series is not that long because they're like 1 or 2 seasons or like 6 episodes.
It's like watching a movie.
But it's just so much out there that it's just.
I know.
Yeah, we gotta finish up Animal Mayhem so we can get back to our regular shows. We tend to get we'll start a show and we'll be watching for a while, and then something we'll be like, oh shit, I've been meaning to show you this, and then we start that, and then we like get hooked into that.
Yeah. Animal Mayhem is a great name for a Muppet cover band.
Yes, it would be great. It's Fatal Attractions, by the way, listeners, if you don't know what I'm talking about.
We haven't got to watch it yet.
It's so fucking
should watch one tonight.
Crazy.
Okay.
It's like if you took Hoarders and like a true crime show, a classy true crime show, but not too classy.
Right.
Like, sprinkle in a little bit of Worst Cooks.
And then like Deadly Six or one of those like Predator shows.
Yeah.
And then you put them all in a house together and invite people over who don't know there's a tiger in your house.
Oh.
And then you get your face ripped off. And it's crazy.
Is that the end of every
Now,
episode?
again, I do want to warn people.
So many faces getting ripped off.
Often these animals end up euthanized.
Oh yeah.
Well, for those, I understand, and I'm not.
Well, I'm just saying it might make you feel bad.
Right.
Like,
you think like one of these chimps
it's
ever
none
like
of their faults.
ripped off their master's face, but because they're so like us, when they went to eat it, they like went in the fridge and got some mayonnaise and a tomato,
Made a
and
real
some
nice
cheese.
sandwich.
Yeah, they made like a really good sandwich out of it, and they went out and plucked that person's eyes out like clunk clunk, and they put them on there like olives, and then they just squished it down, and all the mayonnaise and the juice.
Yeah,
juice.
Remember, like in the cartoons where they shuffle like a deck of cards.
Yep, just like Shag and Scoob.
And then they toss the face sandwich in the air, and it goes straight down.
It's just a Pam and cheese sandwich.
Freddy Morris.
Very nice.
That's what these monkeys are doing. They're trying to expose old man Withers because keep on ripping faces off.
Oh, that's all they've seen Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
Don't ever let your primate watch Scooby Doo.
I think we have solved the mystery of how to not have your chimps rip faces off.
Yeah.
Just
It's
assure
innocent
them,
enough.
assure them that you're not the owner of an abandoned anything
Or
Right.
a lonely heart.
but yeah, that show is crazy, fucking crazy. Anyway, that's all the news I have.
Thank you, Kelley.
That was great news.
Thanks, Sterling.
That's a lot of news.
Good
too.
news, everyone.
Good news, everyone.
To shreds, you say.
Some news, everyone.
I love it. So
I love it.
feedback. We I don't know. Did we read?
I don't care.
I'm trying to remember if we read this message from Dallas and Wisconsin.
No, we haven't read it yet.
We just shared it with each other.
We haven't read anything that anyone said to us about.
Read. I
Yeah.
do. But if you don't, please, I'll help you.
Come on, Piccolo. Hi, Dallas from Wisconsin here.
That's a Sequest.
Hey,
reference.
Dallas, we stuck
Dallas,
in an elevator.
We got stuck in an elevator. I was gonna just say that.
elevator. My wife and I had a new baby not too long ago,
Congratulations.
Congrats.
and as a result, it's lights out pretty early at our house.
Dude, I get it.
The baby sleeps in our room in a bassinet by the bed, so it's impossible to stay up too late, otherwise it'll bother the baby.
Stupid.
And then the baby will bother you.
That's a lot of alliteration.
Well, the other
Baby in the bassinet bothers.
Babe, don't bother the baby in the bassinet.
Well,
You'll be in a whole barrel of boo-hoos.
yes.
The other night I wasn't that tired, but I didn't want to surf the web on my phone, so I just listened to you guys in the dark while in bed. I was listening to the Bronx Warriors episode and was thoroughly enjoying it. I love that movie so goddamn much.
Until
I didn't want to disturb my wife or the baby, so I tried not to laugh out loud. I knew I was shaking the bed a little, but we have a good mattress and I was quiet, so I didn't think anything of it. Towards the end of the episode, when you guys were discussing hot dogs, gas station, roller grill funeral, I forgot about this.
well, we were discussing what?
Hot dog roller funeral.
When the character Hot Dog died and we said his funeral, he'd be on a hot dog roller.
Right.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, hold on. Where was I? I really got laughing hard, but quietly. I then got a slap from my wife with her telling me to just finish already. I took an earbud out and told her that it's almost over. That's when it hit her. I was laughing, not masturbating. She thought I was uncharacteristically edging for an hour. It didn't really care at all. It's the little things in life that make you realize how much you love the things that you love. My wife for being so cool with what she assumed was my vigorously jerking off for an hour.
Finish already.
And you guys making me laugh so hard. You guys are the best. Love, Dallas.
Well, you gave
That
back.
was very
You
great.
gave
Oh,
back
I love that.
tenfold.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, that is the best story.
I laughed quite a bit when I first read
What
that.
a great
email.
wife, too.
Yeah. I did want to say, while I'm thinking about it, Ed Douglas, Midnight Syndicate, he has a new live album
Oh.
out. This is the first time they've ever done a live album,
That's interesting.
but it came out in June, and it's called Live Shadows, but it's really cool. So I just, while I'm thinking about it, check that stuff out. We have, does somebody want to read, you want to read this one?
Yeah, if you want to.
Pass it around.
Do you want to read it?
Okay. This is from Lee.
Kelly.
Some of my friends and I get together sometimes and watch bad horror movies. You're years ago, when we discovered your amazing podcast, we would find the best, in parentheses, worst, of your straight-to-video Russian roulette movies and add them to our watch list. I would love it if you published a list of all your straight-to-video Russian roulette movies. Hoy, you're asking me to do a spreadsheet. I like doing spreadsheets. Maybe I'll work on it.
I bet you can find another listener to do that for you.
We need an intern. There was one
I
movie.
have been saying that. Amy just said it finally.
I was joking, A.
I'm not allowed to have an intern because I
B,
ate the last one.
You eat interns.
Well,
all right. There was one movie in particular that we were looking for. What we remember was the monster was described as possibly a dog wearing a carpet. We think it might have also been the same movie that gave birth to the sexual position, a Swiss black hole. But it's been a few years and a lot of alcohol since then. A list of movies or just a heads up on this one or two movies would be great. Oh dear.
well, I do think I don't know what movie you're referring to in our lexicon, but lexicon is not the right word. It's not the word I meant. I went too fast, but.
Too fast.
Killer Shrews, which is an MST3K movie. It is dogs wearing carpet.
That might have been. But he was referring to a straight-to-video movie.
Well, I'm just saying.
I wonder.
We may have mentioned it, or
I know. I'm taken to. This isn't right, but for whatever reason, this brought to mind the movie Fido.
The zombie movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
But that can't be right.
It's not.
It's because it's named Fido.
It's her dog.
Yeah.
I also remember the episode of Star Trek, the original series, where Spock's got that dog, and they put like a horn on its head and some carpet around it.
It was a cocker spaniel.
Because they wanted to make it look like an alien.
Yeah,
is that what you're thinking of?
I don't know.
And a Swiss black hole. What could that mean?
That sounds like a cake roll. Swiss cake roll. Swiss black hole. It's
That's probably
some
how it
shit we
started.
made up.
Yeah, I like that we're now we're trying to re-put the puzzle together of how we came up to a joke. Like, I bet we were talking about fucking Suzy Q's and Swiss rolls, and then we were like, oh, this is a Swiss black hole, and then it's like, oh, that's a sexual
I have
position.
no memory of.
Oh yeah, all right.
Of anything I say week to week. It's a wonder I don't repeat myself more.
All right.
Do you need a bigger font?
No.
Nah, man.
All right. So this is from Joe. Hey.
It's from Joe.
Hey, gang. I'm not going to read it like that.
Joe. Don't do that
Not
to Joe.
quite sure how to. It's. By the way, listen. I just want to explain to everyone once again. It's not because I'm still learning to read that I read this way.
No, it's good. I like
Terrible eyesight.
Good for you, Kelley.
Thank you. And my eyesight is actually better than it used to be.
Just sound it out.
So it's just like not good eyesight.
I was texting with John last night, and he said, "Oh, I'm going to be working in Chicago until Thanksgiving," and he said, we should do something, and I was like, "When do you get back?" And then I was like, he said, "In 4 months." No, it says Thanksgiving up there. I totally didn't read
Really?
that. I never learned how to read.
You stopped everything to tell us that?
No, but then he did the same exact thing to me in the next set of texts.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Woo, Kelley, what do you got?
That's the origin of the inside joke and the moment we first used it all in one day.
Well, that's going into the book.
I never learned how to read.
I stole the TV. Hey, gang. This is Joe. He didn't say this is Joe. I'm just reminding people this is Joe. He just said, hey, gang. Not quite sure how to go about this, but I had an idea for a themed month.
All right.
Maybe computer horror month? Question mark.
I love that idea.
It might be cool to do each movie from a different decade to see how much our understanding of computers and our fears about them evolved over time.
That is a super well thought out theme.
Andy, write that one down.
You could start.
We're doing hackers for the 90s.
You could
All right.
start
Not the net.
with Demon Seed,
Oh yeah.
1977. Then the Clint Howard. He didn't say the Clint Howard classic. I was paraphrasing. Then Clint Howard's Evil Speak from 1981.
Have I seen that?
And Lawnmower Man from 1992. And then to throw a fourth movie in, Stay Alive, 2006.
Oh, I saw that.
Frankie
That was terrible.
Muniz. Frankie Malcolm in the Middle. Frankie.
I think so. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think
I don't
he
think
was
I
in
like that movie.
It was like the last thing I remember him
did I?
doing before he just kind of disappeared.
Well, he's got some kind of disease.
Yeah.
I've heard that, but I saw him. He looked healthy the last
Well, he's
time they showed
not
him.
like some people have diseases that sometimes they look healthy.
I
for
thought he was racing cars, wasn't he?
He was.
He
yeah.
started off doing that. I mean, not after acting. Anyway, Frankie Muniz, we hope you're doing okay. Anywho, and
I
that's
like
what
this idea.
he does actually say. Anywho, I didn't. That
We
was,
might switch up the selects, but it's a great theme.
Yeah.
love you guys, and hope everything is safe and sane in Cincinnati. Safe and sane in Cincinnati.
Fuck yeah, it is.
Thank you, Joe.
You're listening to the Morning Spa.
We just hosted the president in Cincinnati.
It's safe and insane.
And you know what he said? We're fixing damn bridge. Well, guess what you're not doing? Because I drove past it twice yesterday, and the Brenson's Bridge looks like it's going to collapse any day.
Is
And
that
the
the one
traffic to get on
Did
and off
Biden
of
come
it,
in and point at like the mayor? He was like, "Hey,
fix your damn bridge.
fix that damn bridge."
He gave the speech on the bridge. That's why there was so much traffic.
Do you know what the problem is? It's fucking Kentucky, and it's fucking Mitch McConnell and Rand Paul.
Is that the bridge that's covered in the tarp?
Yeah, because they're painting.
Yeah, it's terrifying driving through that thing.
It's a ridiculous bridge. I don't like it. Nobody cares. But if you're wondering, Joe, how we're doing in
Which
Cincinnati,
bridge?
Brent Spence.
Oh,
the Witch Bridge.
It's the Witch Bridge. We have other bridges to use.
we have other bridges.
There's Jeff Bridge. Lloyd Bridge.
We've
The
got
bridges.
more bridges. Of Madison County.
I thought of that, but then you guys did Jeff and Lloyd Bridges. That was even better.
You got anything else, babe?
Well, Scott's is letting me know it's time to apply more product to my lawn.
Okay.
If anybody wanted to know about that.
Well, how about at the end of every show?
We successfully rented a car.
We did.
Oh, we had somebody propose a guest to the show
Oh,
in here. So if you get time, take a look at that. It actually looks like a fun one. Yeah,
We rented a Ford Focus, and you're like, or Fusion.
Ford Fusion.
And,
Thank you
and when
very
they
much.
told me it was a Ford Fusion, I was like, bitch, I actually upgraded from economy to standard, and I expected something better. But I'll tell you, that Ford Fusion drove wonderfully.
This is not an ad. But it really did. It was all the bells and
lovely.
whistles.
I like a decent rental car.
Yeah.
Both Alise's and my cars are former rental cars.
Yeah, so is Andy's.
Yeah.
My sister was married to a rental car.
Yeah. How? Yeah.
Yeah.
So my best friends are rental cars.
She he had a fear of commitment though.
I mean, I thought my next car was going to be a Hyundai Sonata or a hatchback, but I might have to look at these Ford Fusions. It was quite nice. I'm just
Oh yeah, I would love a Ford Fusion. Are you kidding me?
stupidest conversation.
You're
anybody
listening
ever
Ford?
said. Anywho,
Let's get that Ford sponsorship money.
come on, Ford. I had a Ford Tempo as my first car.
We won't get a Ford sponsorship, but
Ooh,
we
so
do
far
have
we go.
our patrons,
Yes.
and these are Beelzebubs who are top of the heap.
We've put devils aside for them.
Yep.
Yeah, these are the ones who get goblets of blood. Mm-hmm. If you like goblets of blood, go to patreon.com/NOTLP
I
and you
like
can
goblets
sign up.
of anything.
Do you like
You got
puddles
goblets of
mud?
Jupiter.
Goblets of Jupiter. Goblets
drops.
of Jupiter. Yeah.
Because remember the Viennetta commercial? They served the Viennetta in goblets, and it was the fanciest thing I've ever seen. in my
Viennetta,
life.
baby.
Thank you, Dustin, for telling me about the Viennetta availability in my area. So, there's that. Alise.
Hey, baby, I'll see you soon.
Amanda. Hey there. Ernie.
What up?
Mark.
Hey,
Bill.
dig.
Blake.
Which bill?
Bill Farner.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
you gotta give us F or C.
All right. I'm going to just say everybody's names fully. Blake Heath.
Blocky.
Jeremy and Cassie Burmeister and Gamora.
What up, babies?
Entering the ring now at 500 pounds. Gamora.
Yeah, she a big girl.
It's not a person. We didn't just call a person
She
fat.
said big dog.
This is dog.
She's not 500 pounds.
I realized I had to say that because I'm like,
She's not Clifford.
but who, I don't know anybody in real life named Gamora. So, Jeff L.
Jeff O.
Iona Goodwin,
A great one.
Branan and Emily,
They're pretty great.
the Whitehead Intravia household. And hi to the cats. Adam Ingram.
Adam.
Bill Chandler.
He just had a birthday.
Yeah.
He did?
Happy
Yeah,
birthday,
happy
Bill.
belated birthday.
Well, shit, bro. I'm so sorry. Happy birthday.
Bill.
And we all we were together on the Zoom, and I just love that little community. Oh, it's so warm.
Zoom.
Blayne Turner.
Yeah.
Monica Martinson. Come on down.
I was in your city. We went to your pier. You own Santa Monica, right?
Yeah, that's all hers. It was lovely.
What?
As is Monica. Alyssa Boehm.
That's my girl.
Speaking of lovely, we have some lovely people.
Lovely listeners.
Brian was in the meetup on Thursday just very briefly, and then he disappeared. But I just wanted to say I miss you.
You're getting so good at that magic trick, Brian. Keep it up. Like next time, we're hardly gonna know that you weren't. That fell apart.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking like he
It's
was
okay.
calling from his car. You know, like he was in his car, and it was that angle from like the cup holder.
Yeah.
Not good.
And with the like a whole lot of bright light coming in, so he was washed out.
Brian, don't zoom and drive.
He wasn't. I don't think he was driving.
Shayna does it too.
And and
I don't want to be the cause of your death.
Esther did it one time too, you guys.
Y'all dangerous.
I was trying to do a
secret.
He's working on his magic tricks joke.
Jeez, y'all gonna be in a PSA.
Well, I was kind of thinking like, and that does make sense. I would not be surprised if this is just another one of his elaborate jokes.
Oh, you fixed it.
But no, I was when someone turns up in that angle and those circumstances, I'm just like, is he being pursued? Like, and he just like the first thought, he's like, okay, 911 is down for some reason. He's like, oh, the Zoom call is his first instinct to get in there, and like, you know,
But he's so polite. He waits for everyone to finish their hellos and stuff.
Yeah. Then he disappears. I'm like, did Brian? I just want to know that you weren't murdered.
Freddie's gonna need proof of life, okay?
Yeah. Dave Siebert,
Hey Dave.
you're the best, Dave. Carla Gibson,
Oh.
and last but not least, the finder of Vianettas, Dustin Chisam.
Indeed. What a great group.
Really, really, really.
What a great group.
They're one of the best groups. That's not our song.
Freddy Morris.
As some drums.
You can't be trusted.
Oh, speaking of drums, I finished my album.
Yeah.
My solo album, but I'm going to pay to have it mastered.
Okay.
It's not ready to come out to you yet, but it's good. It's really good.
Oh, I'm excited.
It's so fucking good. I did a great job. Anyway, so be watching for that. And I don't know my Topicana question yet.
That's okay.
Oh, that's okay.
What we do know is next month's theme, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bikers.
Oh, ring, ring.
Biker movies. It's actually like a rich culture in the biker movie thing, because what we know as biker culture today all really came out of that. It's one of those cases of life imitating art.
Okay.
That's all. I find it really interesting.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right, bye, everybody.
Face put on Dawn of the Dead. And Igor made the nachos in a severed human head. And they enjoy the movie with their friends. David Kessler walks the streets of London.